paragraph Dalid 4. V'zehu shenismach sham b'shulchan aruch. And that's why the Shulchan Aruch puts next to the part about getting up like a lion, this part where it says, Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid, I set Hashem before me always. Ze klal gadol b'Torah. This is an important principle, great principle in the Torah. Ki en domeh yeshivat adam utznuotav v'chulei. Meaning, it doesn't compare a person when he's sitting alone, how he acts, than when he's sitting knowing he's in front of the king. So again, showing about awareness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So now he's saying, why is this appropriate to be the line that's right after waking up like a lion? And it says, Kamvuar b'Shulchan Aruch, like it said in Shulchan Aruch. Hainu shetzrichin le'da ul ha'amin. Because a person has to know and believe. And again, you have these two words, because we said it's all about da'at and emunah, the day and the night. Also the Ramchal in Derech Hashem, he starts off the book by saying, every Jew has to know and believe. Because there's times to know, there's times to believe. Shemelo kol ha'aretz kevodo, that Hashem fills the world, His glory. Vehu yoshev ve'omed, and He is always a person, tamid lifnei melech malchem melchim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're always in front of Hashem. Ki ze zochin al yedei sheme'orerin hashachar, al yedei kimat chatzot. Now the connection. How are we going to know that Hashem fills the world and have this idea in our heads? By, again, waking up at chatzot or even before dawn. So that is going to bring that awareness. Al yedei kimat chatzot, by getting up. Shal yedei zeh mamshichin hadat, because from this you're drawing this knowledge to you. Kanal. Before we just said you're drawing knowledge to you, but now Rav Natan is explaining the knowledge is the knowledge of God, that He is in control of everything, He is everywhere, and all these kind of things. So when we get up in the middle of the night, it's these realities of knowledge of Hashem that we're bringing onto ourselves. In fact, you could say that when holy rabbis, they get their Ruach HaKodesh, meaning they get knowledge, it's from their getting up in the middle of the night and they learn Torah. Of course, it's their whole behavior in general, 24 hours a day. But there's a lot to be said about the nighttime learning. That seems to bring on a person a special idea and awareness of God. And that's where a main chunk of a person's Ruach HaKodesh, if he's merits to get it, could come from. So that's what it means to know that God is all over and to just know things that Hashem gives you. So this is the reward. This is the payoff. If we're interested to get up in the middle of the night, what we might get. And it says, Ad shezochin lidi'ah shelema shemelo kol ha'aretz kevodo, until we'll be zocheh, to know with the full knowledge that God is filling the whole world. Kamvuar hetev b'Torah hanal. It sounds simple that God fills the world. It doesn't just mean to know that one sentence like that. It means the whole idea of all of reality is wrapped up in that sentence. It means to be aware of that God is running the world and all different things that come along with that phrase. V'al ken nismach b'Shulchan Aruch Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. That's why it's put together in the Shulchan Aruch. Tahainu le'da shem lo kol ha'aretz kevodo le'torerut hashachar. Meaning he puts the Rama, at least he put the melo kol ha'aretz kevodo next to the le'torerut hashachar, to wake up the dawn. Meaning those two are together because kiha beha talya. This to that, it's dependent. Meaning they're dependent on each other. Kanal. Ki zochin lidi'ah shelema belev shalem shemelo kol ha'aretz kevodo. How are we zochet to this understanding? Al yedei, by hada'at shemamshichin al yedei kimat chatzot. By that knowledge that's going to be drawn to us by waking up at midnight. Shehu bechinat limud poskim, which is again learning the poskim and halacha. Bechinat chatzot laila kum leodot lach al mishpetei tzidkecha. Like we said this pasuk in Tehillim before, that we get up to praise Hashem on his laws. So that comes to show that learning halacha is of most important. And of course, like we said many times, especially when a person doesn't know the halacha yet, and of course we always don't know all the halachot, it's a lifetime of learning, that's why it's very important, because you need to know what to do. However, once a person is familiar with halachot, he should branch off to other areas of Torah, which is like hashkafa and hasidut and things like that. Then in a way, halacha does not become the most important learning. It's really when a person doesn't know the halacha that it becomes the most important, because you've got to perform. And it fits with the explanation, because we said since a person's in doubt of the halacha, by clearing up the doubt, that's how he's going to clear up his mind for other things. So you see, it's when he's in doubt, meaning he doesn't know the halacha. But when a person's expert in the halacha, again, not that we even ever get there, but just in theory, then a person should be already on to other things. And as we're learning halacha, we should also give time to other things. The rabbi here doesn't mean to say that poskim and halacha is the only thing to learn and the only thing that's important. We shouldn't make that mistake. It's just that it clears the doubts, and we have to do it if we don't know, because we have to perform the mitzvot as they come up, as we mentioned before. Now, v'zehu lehodot lach. This is the idea Rab Natan is saying from the pasuk in Tehillim, lehodot lach, and it said mishpatei tzidkecha. He's going to now link it to another pasuk, which is in the 119 of Tehillim in the Aleph section. Bechinat odecha beyoshel levav. I praise you or thank you with a complete heart. Belomdi, a straight heart. Belomdi mishpatei tzidkecha. As I learn your laws of righteousness. So here already is seeing lehodot lach is like odecha. And again, mishpatei tzidkecha. And it says limud here, the learning of it. So he's showing how when the pasuk at Chatzot said these words, and now here it says these words about learning, so it must be, like Rabbeinu Zal is teaching, that it's the important part of learning at night is halacha, because that's going to take the doubts away. So he's showing that connection. V'kimat chatzot zehu ikar bechinat hitorut hashachar hanemar b'shulchan aruch. And it's the getting up at midnight that is the main thing that will awaken the dawn, the dawn in us, or the emunah, that's mentioned in Shulchan Aruch. Ki ha'ikar lakum b'chatzot, because the main thing of getting up at midnight, v'gam mi she'eno yachol la'amod b'chatzot, and even someone who doesn't get up at midnight, כשמתגבר על כל פנים לעמוד קודם אור היום לעסוק בתורה ועבודה, if he at least gets strong enough to wake up before the dawn, על ידי זה פותח שבילי השכל. This can also open up the pathways of the sechel, of the mind. לפי בחינתו, כפי עבודתו, all according to his level and how much work he does. How much learning and how much praying. Meaning it's best to get up at midnight, but if you can't do that, at least get up before the dawn, like the Shulchan Aruch said, to le'orer the shachar. Shal yidei zeh zochin ladat belev shalem, because if you do this, you'll be zocher to a complete knowledge, shem melo kol aretz kevodo, that Hashem fills the entire world. Ki nistalekin akushot hanal kanal. Because then the questions go away, because we're on to da'at time, not where we have questions anymore, and they'll go away. Valken nismach lazeh. That's why he puts together the Rama again. Shiviti Hashem l'nagdi tamid, tehainu ladat shem lo kol aretz kevodo, ki ha beha talya, because it is dependent on that, like we said. And listen to a great lesson that we can learn, brought to us by Rabbi Maimon.
Is one other example of this that I've mentioned many times. Rabbeinu Zal says that his spoilidus humayla al yoina ugadol min hakol. something that Rabbeinu Zal praises possibly even more than getting up for Chatzos. Getting up for Chatzos is one of the most important things, one of the most special things in Yiddishkeit. Number one, in terms, like we said, of being able to feel this consciousness, being conscious of Hashem at all times. Rabbeinu Zal says that Hispoidedus is the top. A Jew who allocates a set time in the day and a set place where they go to speak to Hashem in their own words, to really pour out their heart to Hashem, to thank Hashem for everything they need to thank Hashem for, to beg Hashem for forgiveness for all the mistakes that we've made, and to plead with Hashem for all the things that we need, all the different parts of this. Rabbeinu Zal said this is one of the top things. The Baal Shem Tov said that one of the main things he came to the world to teach Klal Yisrael was the pasuk B'chol dorochecho do'ehu. In all your ways, in all your paths, know Hashem, be conscious of Hashem. That pasuk is almost the same as this pasuk Shiviti Hashem lenegdi summit. And the Baal Shem Tov said, in fact, that the word do'ehu, know him, the word da, to know, also means to unite. We've mentioned this many times. When the Torah speaks about Adam and Chava being united in marriage, it says, Vayeda Adam es Chava ishtoi. Adam knew his wife, it means they were united together. So the word da means to unite. Do'ehu is da hey vav. Unite the hey and vav of Hashem. Because we know Hashem's name has three letters, Yud, Hey, and then a Vav. And then that last Hey represents the Shekhinah. And we've mentioned many times, when we do good things, we unite that last Hey with the Vav. And we make all four letters serve as one total unit. When we commit sins, we cause a separation, a break between that last Hey and the Vav. We separate. So here the pasuk says, "B'chol dorochecho," in everything you do, try to bring about a unity between the Hey and the Vav, Hashem and the Shekhinah, meaning be conscious of Hashem. So the Chidah Zal, who lived around the time of the Baal Shem Tov, before Rabbeinu Zal, the Chidah Zal writes in one of his Sfarim, how do you get to that? How can a person be on a level that in all their paths, whether I'm eating, drinking, playing ball, writing, whatever I'm doing, I'm conscious, I'm thinking about Hashem, and I'm making this union. He says the first letters of that pasuk, B'chol dorochecho do'ehu, spell the word bodod, alone. A Jew who makes time to be alone with Hashem, like Rabbeinu Zal said, who has an hour a day or as close to that as they can, that they spend this time secluded with Hashem, in personal prayer, in your own words, the Chidah says that will raise you to a level, that will raise your consciousness of Hashem to a level where the other 23 hours also, you're going to be aware of Hashem on your level. You're going to be aware of Hashem, and that's going to protect you, and that's going to guide you in all of your things. So here we're seeing a number, two of the most important things in Yiddishkeit that give a person this consciousness that a Jew would want to have at all times, to be conscious and aware of the presence of Hashem.
Ki ikar hit'orerut hashachar hu b'shvil tikun ha'tefillah. The main purpose or reason that we want to wake up the dawn and be up before is in order to have a perfected prayer in the morning, meaning it leads to that. So we'll merit, by getting up early, to pray the shachrit with a great kavanah and a complete heart. Ki al yedei hit'orerut hashachar she'oskin az b'torah v'avodah. By waking up the dawn, meaning getting up early, whether it's chatzot or even just before dawn, and we involve ourselves in Torah and avodah, prayer, al yedei zeh niftachin shivilei hasechel. By doing this, we open up the paths of the mind. V'zochin lebatel hakushot v'bikorsut, and will be worthy to dispel or take away any questions that we have of non-emunah. Ve'az zochin lada'at shalem, and then we'll know with a complete da'at, and like the rabbi said, a complete heart before, shemelo kol aretz kevodo, that Hashem fills the entire existence, shezehu bechinat shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid, which means I've set Hashem before me always, because He's always there. So these two verses, in many ways, are similar. Kanal. Val yedei zeh sheyot'in belev shalem shemelo kol aretz kevodo. By doing this, al yedei zeh zochin litpalel bekavana gedola. Now you can pray with a great kavanah, because you know Hashem is before you. Ki kesheyodeya sheshem itbarach omed alav b'sh'ata tefillah, because we see we're aware and conscious that He's over us at the time of tefillah, and even always, but stressing time of tefillah because we want to have a great kavanah. V'shomeya u'ma'azin makshiv, and He's always listening and attentive. Kol dibur v'dibur sheyotze mepiv. We're aware that He's listening to everything we say. Az bevadai yitzlahev me'od b'tfilato. A person will have now his hitlahavut, his fiery and excited attitude when he's praying, vidaktek me'od lechaven devarav, and he'll make sure to have a proper kavanah on his words, kamvoar le'el. If you remember, Rav Natan was telling us that if you know Hashem is before you, your prayer will be different. And again, that's what the Ramah was saying, that a person who's home alone, it's not the same as if he was in front of the king. So all this is coming to explain all of that. V'lidiah zo belev shalem shemelo kol aretz kevodo zochin al yedei kimat chatzot shehu bechinat hitorut hashachar. And again, to know this with a complete heart is to know that God is in the entire world. We are zocheh to know that by getting up at chatzot, like we said. And this is what it means to get up, bechinat hitorut hashachar. Nimsa shekimat chatzot. It turns out that getting up at midnight, misugal, is beneficial. L'tfilah bekavana. It gives you tfilah with kavana. V'chein muvan bekavanat ha'arizal shekimat chatzot hu tikun v'hachana l'tfilah. Like it says in the books of the Arizal, especially in the Shar HaKavanot, in the Tefillin section, 5, it says things about it's a great tikkun when you get up again in the middle of the night, and a preparation for tefillah and for putting on tefillin and all different things which we will learn about be'ezrat Hashem. Now just to go back, it says v'lidi'ah zo belev shalem, to have this knowledge with a complete heart is zochin al yidei kimat chatzot. Just notice the word lidi'ah. It's a yidi'ah now, meaning we moved from emunah and we got to da'at, because we got up at night and now we know that Hashem is melo kol aretz kevodo. This is already the beginning of getting da'at.